So you transitioned from OAU statistics to HR to like that. So first, when it comes to your career, you've dealt with a lot of transitions. So tell us, what was the dream as you set out? What were the things that influenced the changes as you went along? I know I'm already, but I know that you are a person of high capacity. So I know once I give it to you and I just release you, you are ready to go. Some people have not had the blessing of the investment you were able to make early. So to pick and choose.
If money was ever a motivation for your life, your career, whatever, you're going to end up losing a lot of things. When you're planning your career, at the beginning, you don't look at money. You look at gaining skills, you look at gaining competencies, gaining connections, deepening your technical and your soft skills.
Someone is just starting out and somebody is now scared and saying, TY, that we thought that. I did. What do you have to say to them? What are the tips you would give? Hello, everyone. It's a great privilege to welcome you to another episode of Crucial Conversations. And this conversation, I've looked forward to having it for over a year now, or thereabouts. And finally, it's happening. By the time we're done, you will definitely be blessed. Your life cannot remain the same. You will be inspired. You will be empowered. Welcome with me, this special woman of God. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you for having this conversation with me.
Thank you, Pastor Derily. What do I say? It's a long time coming.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be here today. I'm grateful to God that
we could
walk through you to make it happen. And, we're here.
It almost didn't happen.
Yes.
But it's part of the blessing that she is strong.
No. It was all you. It was all you. Okay, so brief introduction about me. I'm Toyosi Adekoya. A lot of people call me TY for some reason. I just love the name TY. How do I describe myself? I'm married to an amazing guy called Adekoya. I have 3 children, Ayuluwa, Tifioluwa, Mofioluwa. And when I describe myself and look into my life, my parents didn't give me a Christian name. In those days, they just would give you a traditional name. And I think my siblings got English names, but I didn't get, so I just gave myself Grace. Because when I look into my life, I see a picture of Grace, and if I also look into my full name, Olaoluwa Toyosi, so the grace of God can be rejoiced in. Well, that's my own personal interpretation, because my life is a life of grace. If I start from when I gave my life to Christ, I would say I gave my life to Christ around when I was 13 years old. But in and out, you would fall, rise up. You were
giving the life and taking it back.
I was giving it and taking it back until, I had a tangible encounter, and I think I was looking for something real. I am a very touchy-feely person. I like to substantiate whatever it is I'm doing. And I had an encounter with God, and I think that was just the turning point for me. And since giving my life to Christ...
Can you tell us what that encounter is?
It's very interesting, right? And it was very simple. I was in church one day. You go to church normally, and everybody's praying, and I wonder why people are praying, right? But I'll pray. And then at a particular time in my life, I was struggling with maths. And I was like, okay, God, they say you're God, right? I have this exam coming up. If you're indeed God, help me to pass this maths, right? And it was a simple prayer. And after the test, I passed.
Wow.
And I think I even had 100.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, so God, it means you exist. You hear prayers. And that was my turning point. I was like, okay, yes, I'm going all out and I'm going to serve God. And I think when I look into my life, that's the bedrock of who I am today. I've seen God at work.
You are called the people architect.
Ah, yes.
Very powerful.
Yes,
What's
yes.
so you call yourself that, but I believe people agree. People call you that, as well. Tell us.
Yes, so the name The People Architect, right? I think that it stems both from my personal life and my professional life. So in my personal life, I think it's almost obsessive. Like when I meet people, I'm just thinking, okay, what can this person be doing better, right? What are your strengths? What are the areas you need to improve on? I'm also a professional coach, right? So for me, it's just seeing people and saying, look, God has a purpose for your life. You have potentials. You have strengths. You have areas that you can improve on. How can we harness all of that to help you become who God has really called you to be, right? And I play that role in the life of my husband. I remember when, we first met and I just looked at him and I was like, you're going to be a CEO one day. And I want to start polishing you. And it's like, get off my back. But I think it's God's gift for me when I see people, somehow I'm just able to see beyond their today and be like, by taking this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, you can actually get to where you need to get to. And that actually translated into my professional life where I'm a human resources specialist, right? And I'm looking into an organization and I'm saying, if we build your people infrastructure, right, your talent management, your talent acquisition, your HR strategy, and we align it with the organizational strategy, we can actually build something tangible that is resilient and helps you beat, competition, helps you withstand whatever storms are coming, right? But in order to do that, because your people are your greatest asset, I help you build your people while you build the business.
So can I ask, what do you prefer, organizations that you prefer to work with? Startups or multinationals, established? Pick one first. Or it's a struggle, you can't pick.
No, I have, again, an obsession for startups.
Okay.
Which is why the name, again, architect. Don't call me when everything is all set. Don't call me into a big multinational that you have all your systems, your processes, and everything is in place. Call me when you have nothing, when you're building from scratch. And I see that through the course of my career, that's what I've been able to help organizations do. Like, they're calling me and they're like, oh, so TY, this is bad, that is bad, we don't have this, we don't have that. They are sounding very sad. I'm excited. And when they're done, I'm like, look, this is why I exist. I love the chaos, right? I love the fact that you don't have policies. I love the fact that you don't have systems. I love the fact that you don't have, any information management system to manage your HR. And I begin to work, from ground up. Building, layering, laying a solid foundation. And I think also when I look into my life, that's also how I work. Okay. I've never been someone who is looking for El Dorado. I don't look for perfect relationships. I don't have friends that are perfect because I'm not perfect. So, but I always believe that I'm a builder, I'm an architect, whatever situation I come into, I think it very much speaks to the nature of God, right? And how he's creative and how, it was over and over the waters, it was dark, there was nothing, and he said, let there be light. So again, it's that my identity that is rooted in God that just plays out in my day-to-day life and my professional life.
What are your strong values? Building from where you are, because I'm still going to take you back. But before we go there, can you highlight your strong values? What would you highlight them to be?
Again, it goes back to that foundation of grace, right? Whatever I see, I look through the eyes of grace. And let me explain that. So a lot of people, their strong values will be integrity, it will be all the perfectionist things, everything must be perfect. I think for me, it's simple. It's two things. It's grace and authenticity. Come as you are, I am as I am. Show up the way you are. Grace always has a way of making you who you're meant to be.
Now, you that you are emphasizing grace here, you are a
Yes.
very competent human being. Let me put the human being. Let's live
Okay,
grace.
let's live grace.
Let's live born
Okay,
again.
yes.
You.
Mm,
Am I lying?
I don't know.
Please. Am I lying? No.
my
No,
God.
maybe we should bring your CV and just start reeling out. Am I lying? No.
Yes.
Competence, hard work, pushing is something that is very important to you.
Yes.
Wait. I'm the one asking.
Where,
the question.
yes, I'm answering.
You see,
yes.
today I can harass you. I like
know,
it.
I know. So, I mean, go for it.
Like that balance, yes, the authenticity, the grace, important. So you don't take for granted the fact that you're not going to say it's my hard work or my push or the competence that makes the difference. But we can't play that down. Lie. If not, let me start talking about your certifications. Let me start talking about your degrees, London Business School, Cambridge, It's a setup.
Interestingly, as you say those things, and again, this can sound like cliche. A lot of those things were done effortlessly from the place of grace, and I'm being very, very sincere. Right, a lot of those things that you reeled out, let me reel it out for you. Imperial College, MBA.
Imperial College, not Cambridge.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah.
No, there's Cambridge as well.
You see?
That's
You see?
Certification. There's
London-
Georgetown University.
University. That's the HR.
There's Obafemi Awolowo University.
Yeah,
That's
because starting
statistics.
from there, yeah.
Yes. There's Cornell University, which is also a certification. There's London Business School, which is also a certification. All of those things were done based on an urge, an empowerment that came, and I was like, okay, God, you want us to do this, let's do it. I can't, as you say those things, I can't see any picture of, so I was now toiling, I was now doing this and doing that. I think that all of those things were part of who God had designed for me to be, and I just stepped into them. Yes, I work very hard.
I wanted to carry this my mic, join it to your mic,
just-
and
yes.
put it in your mouth there. And
Yes,
say,
I work very hard.
Yeah.
And I also have tunnel vision. If I focus on something and I'm getting this thing done, there's nobody that can stop me, except if God says, you know what, cut it. But once I make up my mind that that's what I'm going for, the rest is history. Then let me give you a peep into how I got to where I am right now. Early on in my life, I did something I would call life planning. Nobody did it with me. I just by myself sat down. And what I did was I started to look at the CVs of people who I admired, people that inspired me. And I was like, okay, and also obituaries. I read, when I was growing up, I used to read a lot of newspapers because my dad used to come home with maybe like 10 different newspaper publications on a daily basis. So the Tribune, the Punch, and I would sit down and read them. And I would naturally be drawn to the columns celebrating people's birthdays, achievements, obituaries. And I was like, oh, okay, this person did this. So as I started to picture my life, I was like, what's my story going to be like? Okay, I would like this to be a part of it. I'd like that to be a part of it. And that was it. And I think at some point it almost became like a sport
okay.
than toiling
Okay.
or than I'm trying to please somebody or I'm trying to be accepted. It was something that was just, coming from inside based on a lifelong picture that I had.
So looking at your pathway, I think we can never say TY is this and that's all.
No. No.
Because there's been a lot of transitions.
Absolutely.
And is it that what you're telling us is we should get ready? There are more transitions to come.
You know, at this point, like, I'm just fully surrendered to God. The way I've tried to find peace with myself and where I am is to describe myself as multifunctional, multi-competent, multi-talented, and multi-creative. And again, it's the way God fashions people. Like, I bake, I sew, I can cook, I like to play with my hands, I can make hair and all that. But when it comes to also talking the corporate world, I can function.
Okay. So let's start with talking about your transitions when it comes to your profession, when it comes to your journey.
Yes.
Before we talk, about, or I know I wanted us to talk about transitions because I think that's a major part of your life.
Yes.
And I believe in some of those conversations that we had, that was why I had the witness that I wanted to sit down and have. One of the
Yes.
reasons why I thought I wanted to sit down and have these conversations, this particular conversation. So you've transitioned from, OAU, statistics to HR to, like that. So first, when it comes to your career, you've dealt with a lot of transitions. So tell us, what was the dream as you set out? What were the things that influenced the changes as you went along? I know I'm already, but I know that you are a person of high capacity. So I know once I give it to you and I just release you, you are ready to go. So let me just put it. And then if there's anything important I feel you've not had it, then I can just that. So what did you see starting out?
Okay.
What were the things that influenced the transitions as you went from Philips to KPMG, right? To General Electric, now to co-managing your own, firm, so to say. What influenced those transitions as you went along? And then you've talked about grace. You've talked about hard work. If there are other things that helped you sustain, because I believe there were moments where you got tired. There were moments where at times you felt, am I sure I can go ahead? Is this a possibility, so to say? So let's go into the transitions. Now focusing on your career.
Okay. For me, when I was starting a career, I think that having a career was almost non-negotiable for me. And I'll tell you why. I would attribute that to my dad.
Okay.
As early as age 5, my dad always said to us, whether you were a boy or a girl, like, he didn't want any one of us to be a liability. Right? So I knew that I had to work and I knew that I wanted a good career, but I didn't know how. So when I left Ife, right, I looked at the people who had gone before me. So I called one of them and I was like, can you just sit with me and help me navigate, my career? And he started to ask me, where did I want to work? Do I want to work in a bank? And he was telling me how much, they were earning. And I was like, okay, bank, what will I learn? And he was like, well, not much at the beginning. I said, okay, give me other options. Then he said, consulting. Consulting is an option. So I was like, okay, consulting, okay. I think that's what I would do. But he said to me, they don't pay much. So I said, okay, I can live with that. And I think I just kind of wired my head around the fact that whatever career choice I made at that time cannot have anything to do with money. So I started with Philips Consulting. That was also is an interesting story, because I started as a contract staff. How did I get in? The only way or the only reason I got into Philips Consulting was because I could use a laptop. Because in those days, the use of a laptop wasn't rampant. But how did I get to use a laptop? There was a lady who wanted me to analyze, I studied statistics, right? Who wanted me to analyze a paper for her. She was in University of Lagos. And eagerly I went. She wasn't going to pay me. And when she gave me a laptop to use and gave me time. So I fiddled around it. And by the time I went for the interview at Philips, we were like 200 people who came. And I noticed that as they came, they were leaving. As they came, they were leaving. I was like, what are they saying to them? And then when I got in, they just gave me a sheet of paper and said, type on this laptop. And they were waiting for me to say, where's the mouse? So everybody who asked, where's the mouse? They sent them out. But I just sat and then I started to type. I'd not even typed the line. They were like, you have the job. And I was like, okay. So I started with Philips. It was HR consulting. And then I started to do it again, putting
So
everything
you
in.
have this ability to figure out things, whether technical, whether people.
If you put it, I'm very curious. And my brain is always open to possibilities. So whatever I need to pick up, I just, go with the flow. So I started with Philips Consulting as a contract staff. And, from being a contract staff, by God's grace, I distinguished myself and I was sent to Abuja to actually start the MTN office. So I handled the recruitment.
Wow.
And I had not yet served.
Okay.
So I had to dress like, someone who had served. I had to command, presence and all of that. And I did that successfully. I came back. When I came back, I was seconded to MTN in Lagos as their recruitment consultant. Mind you, I had not served. Again, put everything into it. And I continued to do recruitment. I became known in Lagos as the recruitment person, such that people come to parties and they come with CVs, hoping I'll be there. I'm a very private person, so I didn't like that. So I knew it was time for a career change.
Wow.
And then, in the course of being seconded to MTN, a guy that worked in KPMG saw me and was like, why are you working this hard for Philips Consulting? Come and work in KPMG. And I was like, there's nothing you can say to me. There's no amount of money you can pay me that will make me move to KPMG. But he sat with me and started to tell me, he said, today you're in HR. When you come to KPMG, you're going to be able to do the full length of management consulting. And then I got excited, went through the interview, got the job, and then the real challenge started. Now, Philips Consulting was like, laid back, not too laid back, but it was friendly. In KPMG, I used to work till 2 a.m. sometimes. There were days that I would actually sit on the floor and cry. And when I'm done crying, my manager would say, Madam, you don't finish. I'll be like, Jude, I want to go home. He say, Madam, you're not going home tonight. And I will clean my face and sit down. The money wasn't a lot, but I built rigor. Right? I built connections. When you say, what's your second name? It became problem solving. I built assertiveness, right? I mean, let me say a little about the assertiveness. I'm from a Yoruba family. You don't look your elders in the eye. You don't just talk to elders anyhow. But I was expected to call by my partners by name, and the partners were the senior people. You were expected to call your clients by name. And my first appraisal, they were like, oh, this girl, she's so docile, she didn't have gravitas and all. And my performance manager sat with me and said, again, it was the same Jude, and said, Madam, you can't survive in this environment too, that, you have to be assertive. And I was like, okay, let's do this. By the next appraisal, he said to me, Madam, over assertiveness, don't they worry you? And I think for me, that was my transformation journey. I saw the world like a playing field.
Yeah.
And all the soft skills, the technical skills, the attention to details, the endurance, we die here. If this deliverable is not completed, nobody's going home.
Yeah.
Right? And the next morning, sometimes you don't even take a shower. You just clean your eyes. You're there at a retreat. You're there making presentations. So all of that shaped me. Then I got addicted to the adrenaline. Because at some point, you're always on the go. You're in Abuja today. Tomorrow you're in Port Harcourt. So I got addicted to that fast life. And then I woke up one day and realized, okay, I have to get married. And when I got married, was this lifestyle, was it sustainable? So I started to think, what do I need to do? That was when the certifications came in. And I started to position myself for certain types of jobs. And after that, somebody said, oh, General Electric is coming into Nigeria. They're looking for a certain kind of person. I sent him my CV, and the lady called me, Black American, and she's like, I don't even know where to start from. You can do everything. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Give me whatever you think, I would add value to the organization. And I became learning and development leader for Sub-Saharan Africa, covering like 13 countries, just coming up with all sorts. And that was my best job ever because I was traveling all over the world. But then again, I got married and then I had a baby, and I would leave the baby with my mom every time I traveled. Initially, it was fun, where your whole calendar is booked from the beginning of the year to the end, not with local travels, but with international travels. So there's Germany, there's Italy, there's London. But my baby was waiting. My family was waiting. And then I started to ask myself, how sustainable is this? What's the next step? And Africa Finance Corporation came along. Now, with Africa Finance Corporation, as a consultant, I had helped them to start up their whole HR function and all of that.
Was that as a consultant with KPMG?
As a consultant with KPMG, okay, before I went to General Electric. And then they had a position in HR. And then they called me in and they were like, okay, the good work you started, come and finish it. And that was it. So 12 years in Africa Finance Corporation. And the 12th year, got to the peak, became a respected human resources leader. And then my husband threw the curve in the ball. Or he threw the curveball. It was time to relocate. And I was like, I'm going to leave this. This was anybody's dream job. You were being paid in foreign currency. It gave me time for my children. I was enjoying what I was doing. And it was like, you're transiting. So for 2.5 years, I resisted. And, my brother-in-law, my sister, whom we respect so much, they came into it, they tried to convince me. I was like, no way. I'm not going to the US. I'm not going to have a driver. I won't have a cook. I won't have a maid. I'm going to be taking care of these children. Don't even know how to take care of them. And I think that that was when, the whole concept of submission. That was when it hit me. And it's in 1 Peter, I think 1 Peter chapter 2 or chapter 3, that talks about, is the amplified version, that describes what submission is, where you're actually putting your own plans under the plans of the man. And I'm like, God, this is a strong thing. And as I struggled to navigate, I was like, okay, God, I've heard my husband. I need to hear you. And one day I just heard him say, I'm doing this for you. I'm like, no, you can't be. And again, I'm used to sacrifices.
God, or you heard your
Yes,
husband?
no, I heard God saying, I'm doing this for you. And I was like, no, you can't be. I'm always making sacrifices. I left General Electric because of my daughter, because of my family. If I left KPMG because of family, now I'm leaving AFC again because of family. Why? Why do I have to be the one making the sacrifices? And he said he was doing this for me. And I was like, okay, I hear you, but I had peace. So I told my husband, I said, fix the dates, we're going. And I was like, really? I said, yes, we're going. I had no clue what I was going to do. I had no clue what the next phase of my life, was going to be. But I was like, God, I have your word and I'm going to hold on to it. So I left. Interestingly, my job allowed me to work remotely for a while until they needed me to come in more often. Again, I had to make a decision for family. My kids are young, and I think that as you talk about juggling family, career, your relationship with God. My relationship with God definitely comes first. But after that, it's family. And I started to ask myself, yes, the money is good, the prestige is good, but at what cost? And then one day on the plane, I was going back to the US, and I just heard God say, it's time to leave. I'm like, okay, give me some time. And he says, no, now. So I tapped my husband who was beside me. I said, if I said I was leaving AFC, what would you say? He said, I would support you. I was like, really? And as he gave me the release, I now started to delete that. The Holy Spirit said, send the message now. So I typed the message on the plane. Once we landed, the message, went to my key bosses. And of course, there was devastation. They were devastated that, I was leaving, even though they had given me a concession. I was devastated because I was leaving and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know.
Since you're somebody that loves loyalty, I would say, since they stretched the concession, everything, after the consideration, it was as if you were still breaking that connection.
Yes. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no plan B, no next steps, nothing. But I said to my bosses, I said, there was something I started. I'm going to come back in country to complete it. So when I came, I started to manage them. And as I was having conversations with them, I said, you know what? I can actually consult for you because I'm not going to any job. I'm not going to any business. And I'm like, okay, let's take that up. Anyway, long story cut short, I become the consultant. And I'm like, okay, yes, I can run my own business. And that was it. And now I founded Oakid, got someone to work with me as a partner. We co-own the business. And I'm looking back and I'm like, God, you were actually doing this for me. I think the summary of this whole story about career transitions and all of that is I've learned to live my life in God's hands. Left to me, I am very ambitious.
Can you say that again?
I would be in Geneva, right? I would work in World Bank. I would love to fly all over the world. But I wrapped all of that up and put it under subjection to God and said, my submission is first to God. So I give God the submission, and from the place of that submission to God, obviously my submission to my husband, my family, and today, to be honest, I have no regrets. So that's it in a nutshell.
So, what we'll see is why you're emphasizing grace is, or why you keep emphasizing grace is because we see the outcome. We see the results. We see the end results. We see the CV. We see your pathway, and everything. Let me say this, me moshemiko.
Yes.
If it's according to how I planned it or my ambition, my drive, and everything, the journey will not look like this. But me submitting to what typically at times I would not submit to, like you talking about the sacrifice, because I found out that you got to a breaking point, and even though I told you today, no holding back emotions, you shall have swallowed everything in.
I'm a consultant. We don't
You're
show
not a
everything.
consultant here. And so when the tears were trickling and you were covered, I said, these big glasses, let me remove
No
it.
way.
There's a way you said, I'm sure even the crew, they are surprised. There's a way you just held but now I understood why you're like competence, hard work, push, drive, study. Let's highlight that. But let's not miss it because that is not where the secret, most of the time is me submitting to God.
Yes.
To the institutions he has established.
Absolutely.
To the its principles.
Yes.
Even when it's contrary to how the world will go or how my drive will want to go.
Absolutely.
And when even I will kick, I will throw tantrums. And you
A
you said
lot
it so
of it.
smoothly, like they think that Tiwa is a very nice,
No, a lot of
easygoing.
it. A lot of
So
tantrums.
with plenty tantrums, and everything, it now all pans out and works out. It now
Yes.
looks like I'm a star.
Yes.
I'm a G. I'm
Yes.
all good. I'm all that. But there's just the way God keeps
Absolutely.
writing my story,
Yes.
and then it brings out the best. Now, left to me, I might have been able to drive to higher heights in certain regards, right?
Oh, yes.
But there's this authenticity in my life. There's this wholeness. There's
Absolutely.
this balance that only with the help of God will have been able, to put together.
Yes.
Did I capture it?
Absolutely.
Well.
Yes.
So, how, as you learn these lessons, because we now start moving, have you been able to juggle it all? Because it's evident that where God used to catch you very well is family. So I'm still, I have a follow-up question, but how have you been able to juggle family, work, ministry, relationship with God, relationship with others? Because I know how it's hard to catch you. When I'm looking for you, we can use torchlight, use all day.
know.
But at the same time, I know that one of the things is when you are there, you are there. I know.
Yes.
And when you're not, you can't be somewhere, you can't be somewhere. Like I was still teasing with one of my team members yesterday. And when I was like, this recording will not have been held, left to me, because I was like, the time has passed. But you sent me message 24 hours to the recording date, and you're like, Alpha, Shebi, we are still on tomorrow. I said, that's how they used to. You remember the message I said? I said, recording is not like that. So left to me, I was like, it's not, but it's like you have to keep. I know one of those things when you say you're laser focused, you peel back things, and then it's like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. Then we do it. I know that's one. But what are the other things? How are you able to balance? I know some people say the balance is not even possible. But how are you able to juggle everything together as the strong woman that you are?
Oh my
Or
God.
the submitted strong woman that you are?
Balance. Okay, so let me lay a foundation, or maybe what drives me, and then we can get to the balance. So I think first and foremost, Genesis 1:26 to 28, the dominion mandate is what drives my life. So I believe that in life, I must be useful, I must be productive, I must govern, right? And anywhere I am, I must make an impact. Like you must know me, you must notice me, right? Not because I go out of my way to be noticed, but because the dominion mandate, the dominion anointing that I'm so conscious that I carry is at work. So when it comes to balancing everything, there's first the dominion mandate, and then the second, the role that God has given me as a helper, helping someone else build, their destiny and all. So the way I played it out in my head was, before getting married, that foundation that helps me to continue to dominate into the future, God helped me to lay it. And that's where, the education, the hard work, the kind of places that I worked before getting married came in. Right. Now, by the time I got married, I already had a foundation that helped me to pick and choose in terms of the kind of work that I wanted to do, such that I'm not stepping into the shadows because I'm married.
So the first thing is the investments you
Absolutely.
made. Okay.
Absolutely. So putting in the grind when I could, laying the foundation when I could, right? Such that when I got married and I needed to start making sacrifices, I didn't feel like I was losing, right? I was just meandering for the time being, knowing that once that season is over, there will be another season for full governance and dominance and full expression. So in terms of juggling, if I say this now, you will laugh again, but I would say it's grace and relying on the wisdom of God on what is my priority part time.
So I was not your priority. So next time. Let me show my tantrum.
The second thing,
now.
right? I'm a very present person. If I'm with you, I am present. Like, you would think you own me. Like, if I'm with you, I would not pick calls. If I'm with you, I would not engage. So I'm fully present and I live in the moment. So when I'm at work, I am fully present, living in the moment, taking it all in. And when I get home, I enter my house girl, gardener mode, girlfriend mode, everything mode. I am fully present. When I'm doing ministry, I am fully present. Now, those three things would not typically happen at the same time. But in the circumstances where I've had to choose, right? After God, it's always family. So, for example, if I have a meeting at work, I weigh the meeting, right? And I weigh what is required of me by my children. If it's something that I know that if I don't go, I will not hear the last of it. If it's a case of maybe 1 year after, my son is saying, Mommy, everybody's mom came, you didn't come. I'll be like, excuse me, please. I have to be at this event. Can we reschedule? Or tell me everything you need to for me to get done. Once I'm out of that meeting, you will get this deliverable, even if it's at 12 midnight. Right? So I know that that's a non-negotiable. But if it's a book fair, right, that I know once I give my child that money, my child is good, he would sort himself out, and I don't need to be at the meeting, then I'll prioritize work. So again, it's a careful balance. There's no black and white. I'm not going to say, oh, so all the time, it must be family, all the time, it must be ministry, all the time, it must be work. No, it's just a careful balance. Especially because I've seen people, women who leave the family side of things, focus on work, and the outcome is not desirable. So maybe part of what I also did growing up in the course of my career and my life is I observe patterns in the lives of people, and I'm like, that I love, this I don't want.
But in as much as we've seen the things that have worked well, have there been points where you could tell yourself, I missed that? I could have done that better.
Oh, several points.
I wish I didn't do that. Can you share one?
Oh, several points.
Wait, one. Let me know whether I'm going to add one that's... Because you know what I'm saying, share one. And when I put you on the spot. Remember the message where you brought out the phone and you're like, Father, please let it not be me that I'm wrong. And I was like, is it me that is acceptable for me to be wrong? So I'm like, competence for you is great. Getting it right always is important. So I believe you're someone that when you get it wrong, it pains you.
Oh, it does. It does. And
to tell us one.
I won't even say it's one. I would say it's cumulative. And remember what I said to you when I said that God said the relocation was for me, right? I think that was the biggest thing. To be honest with you, even though, I was in Nigeria, I had the flexible job and all of that, I did not really know my children. Because I was used to outsourcing everything. So then my middle son used to play football. I would outsource it. I would ask the maid to go for his game, pick him up and all of that. You want to do something, okay, the driver will take you. I wasn't I wasn't growing up with them with the intricate things, going on in their lives. I thought I was. But when we moved, no, even before we moved, the COVID year was my eye opener, where we were all at home and I started to see a lot of things. And you know that you're like, I'm a pastor anymore. Like, oh my God, we need to reset. So that was when the hard work of raising, cultivating my children actually started. And I was like, God, all I ask of you is make up time for all the time that I lost in focusing on these children. My children couldn't wash plates. They couldn't cook. They couldn't clean up after themselves. And I started to reflect on the way I was brought up, and I was like, yes, even though I used to dodge work and all that,
but at least
when it came to it, I would do it. So getting to the US, where there was no hiding place. You will go to school, you'll come back, you meet me at home. We're tidying up your room. You're learning how to cook. You're learning how to sweep. You're learning how to do the basic things. So,
how did they see you?
oh, of course. At the beginning, I was a witch, right? I saw one of them write somewhere that, oh, my mother brought me to the US to become a maid. I read it. I closed my eyes and I'm like, don't worry, you're a maid. I'm also a maid. Because all the things that I wasn't doing before, I'm starting to do it. But the beautiful thing was that we grew together. They started telling me things that ordinarily they wouldn't tell me. They started telling me things like, mommy, thank God you're around now. If you know when me and this person did this and this. And I'm like, oh, really? Under my roof? Right? And I was just so grateful for the opportunity. So yes, I have had slips, but I thank God for redemption and the opportunity to just, course correct.
So even though you thought you were balancing the price being paid for success was almost coming at too high a price.
It was high. It was high. Again, especially because of the kind of person that I described myself as. I zone in. When I used to pastor in a church, I had no weekends. So you've done Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, it's all about ministry. And then Monday, you start again. So, but as long as the kids are getting their homework done, as long as they're okay in school, you're like, oh, they're good.
At least.
Not knowing
check.
not knowing that all those soft things, the engagements, the observation, the opportunity to correct what you see because you're present, I was missing out on that. So, yes.
So, transitions have really been a great blessing for you.
Absolutely.
Especially when you had to move. So, what would be your advice to women that have not had the blessing of this transition yet? Some people have not had the blessing of the investment you were able to make early. So, to pick and choose, please, because I'm not in your shoes, but there are a lot of women right now that have that sense of inadequacy, that struggle of, I don't even know my child. They don't know how to bridge that gap. Or someone is just starting out and somebody is now scared and saying, see why that we thought that. I did. What do you have to say to them? What are the tips you would give?
With
if
benefits,
you would do things differently then, or
with benefit of hindsight and what I do now, I think what I would recommend to a lot of women, if not every woman, two things. The first one would be get a coach. I think one of the blessings of having a coach is that they help you see your blind side, right? And a lot of women that I coach now, right, as we navigate the seasons of their life, as we navigate their career and all of that, by God's grace, I'm able to help them see, hey, I think you're dropping the ball there. I think you need to amp it up in that particular area, right? That's one. Then the second thing, especially for women who are zoned in, women who are, go. It's hard, what I want to say, but I want to recommend that they either look out for sabbatical opportunities, or
Sir, but the money has not reached us. The goal is not gold yet. How do we balance when? Sorry, okay, continue. But
no, I love that angle that you say about money. But I think that if money, and I say this with all sense of responsibility and without any pride, right? If money was ever a motivation for your life, your career, whatever, you're going to end up losing a lot of things.
if money is ever or was ever
Yes.
a goal for
Yes.
any career, anything, you're going
Yes.
to lose a
Yes.
lot of things.
And
We need to write that.
And
somewhere.
let me digress. You know, when I started my career, I was earning 10,000 naira. My mates in the bank were earning like 50,000. Right? Out of that 10,000 naira, I would feed, I would take transport to Lagos Island. I used to wear my dad's jackets. My dad was not young, so the jackets he wore, I used to wear them because for me, that environment was an opportunity for me to grow, to explore, and it was priceless. And it's part of what I was going to talk about, that when you're planning your career, at the beginning, you don't look at money. You look at gaining skills, you look at gaining competencies, gaining connections, deepening your technical and your soft skills. So you can do that for like 6 to 8 years. Once you're done with that, right, you start consolidating. Then your financial goals can kick in. Like, you can now start doing shakara. If they're not paying me this, I'm not paying. And you know what? People will start looking for you because you've paid the price. You are cooked. And then after that season, you now start looking for a legacy career, a career where you're pretty much just giving back. But guess what? Even in those years, the money will come. Because you now have skills and competencies that people at your age or at your level don't even have. They can't even boast of it. So for me, money had never been a motivation. I was in human resources, but my colleague can attest to this. I didn't know how much I took home. So if we were asked to fill a form, I'll just call him up like, hey, what's my salary again? And she's like, it's like TY.
But some people will say maybe because you had it soft, you have a family that could support you, you have certain things you didn't have to bother your head about. So it's easier for you to say money is not.
I didn't start soft. When I got married, right? Even though that's another story, though.
That's
That's another story.
But there.
That's another story of, again, how you get married, right? Again, it wasn't for money. So I was on this particular consulting job. My official car on that job was a Prado, and I had a driver. And I met my husband, he didn't have a car. And I think that the fact that it was not even moved by that, you said you were going to say something. Let's not jump, right?
Yeah.
And for me, even though, I had the official car of Prado and driver, it wasn't like I had a lot of money in my bank account, right? But because then I was still in consulting, the money was not a lot. We used to live in Ogudu, right? The kitchen that we had, when I'm cooking in that kitchen, right, I will have tears coming down my eyes because it was so small. So the smoke, everything is getting into your eyes and the food is being mixed with the tears. Whoever is eating it with love, right? So it was never about money. Honestly, it was just about building, that foundation of competence, of wherever I am, I'm able to add value. They recognize the value, and then the money started to come in unexplainable ways. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm that valuable, so they're going to pay me for this. And that was it. And again, that mantra, that principle of on a monthly basis, I refused to know how much was coming into my account. So that when it was time for me to make a decision to leave, it would not be what was holding me back.
Because a lot of times, we start the right way. We get in the middle, we become successful. We begin to now hold those things that we can see. They now become more important to us than the drive that started things.
Absolutely. It's a golden handcuff. It's a golden handcuff. And so, I mean, when I was leaving my last job, right, by that time, it wasn't even me saying it. It was people around me. They're like, going to leave this job. And then I was like, it's true, this job. But I went back to first principles of God. No, you're my source, not my job. Right? And if you could do this, you're able to do much more. And you know the interesting thing, in my first year as a consultant, I actually matched what I was earning before I left paid employment. And even when I started the consulting, I'm telling you,
That's when you started running your own.
Yes, but I'm telling you, it was not about money. I just wanted to help. And I'm telling people, clients, you know what? I can do this for you, pro bono. I can do this for you for free. And I meant it. So the truth is, if money, again, I'll say it, is what's driving whatever decision you're making, marriage, career, business,
You will lose a lot.
you will lose a lot.
So let me bring you back to that sabbatical. Now we can trust you. I had to put you out there because there are times when we say some things and you're like, Ma, the rubber is not meeting. You are really saying this and I want to take it. So you're like, women should look for the opportunities to take sabbatical. So let me let you continue flowing now.
Yes. So when you take a sabbatical, what it helps you to do, and the sabbatical doesn't have to be 1 year, 2 years. It could be 1 month. And you just say, you know what, in this 1 month, I want to catch up with myself. Because the truth is, when you go to work every day, you lose yourself. Right? Because 9 to 5, it's a programming. So 9 to 5, you go there, do the work, you go back home. You go there, do the
9
work.
to 5 is even better. Now that we do hybrid of work from home,
Yes.
it's not 9, it's 24/7.
Absolutely. So in that space, you lose yourself. But when you just say, you know what, I want to take a month or 2 months off. And I just want to be by myself, with myself. And then you start remembering who you used to be.
So it can be a leave without pay thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Again, money should not be everything. And let me just digress a bit. All of the certifications, all of the masters in this and that, they were all self-funded.
Really?
Yes. They were self-funded. I'm not someone that waits for my organization to sponsor me for this training, that training.
No,
all
this
of
is
those
the point
things,
where we all take a break and we're like,
all of
you
those
people
things,
clapping on? Please.
they were self-funded because, again, I just wanted to be the best version of me without waiting for somebody, right? So you take that break, no pay, just say to your employer, just give me 1 month. By the time you come back, 1, you're more creative. 2, you've managed stress because a lot of people also burn out. And when you're burning out, you're not at your peak. Then I think that for me, the most beautiful thing about taking a break is, again, I describe myself as multi-creative, right? When I take breaks, that's when I remember, I have a sewing machine. That's when I remember, there's this cake recipe. Let me bake it. That's when I remember, I would love to do a podcast. Then I also write. So when I take breaks, my writer's block is off, and then I start to write, and I'm like, okay. And then, you just feel like a complete human being again, and then you can go back to work and be the best version of yourself.
So the break is not that you're totally taking your foot off the pedal.
No.
It's just that you break that routine of that expectation,
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
Then you can pay attention to other things, especially the
Absolutely.
soft side,
Absolutely.
your family, the things that
Absolutely.
are important to you.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you rolling or you are not rolling, Manuel? Okay. Businessman, sabbatical, that's why you cannot do sabbatical. Are you calling me? To be new. you need to call it. Did you guys be getting from time to time? Well done, well done. Please appreciate CY for me. Appreciate her. Appreciate her. If not, we'll be going. See your mommy is talking. Yes.